back after like a month. That's how long it's been. It's been over a month. Back with the Kitchen Table Sports Podcast. I'm Will.
This is Dad
You're
doing
Dad.
number 3.
Number 3. Oh my God. We should be on by rights. We should be on number 7, 10.
Yeah, but you know, when you do quality, sometimes you don't get quantity.
Yeah, speaking of no quantity, thanks to the 11 people that listened to our last episode.
That's so awesome. 11 people are all-stars out there. However, the drop-off from 50 is not good, and this is not a trend I want to see happen. This looks like the U.S. interest rate.
Yeah, we're going the wrong way here,
Yeah,
people.
we are.
I mean, before we really get started.
Is this something about, by the way, this doesn't reflect on Grant. Have you told Grant this yet, that we only got 11 when he participated?
No, I didn't.
Okay, good.
Grant's got some other stuff going on right now. Before we get started, I mean, should we tell the 10 people the really big news? I mean, the biggest news of all.
What's that we have a new microphone?
Yeah, buddy. we shouldn't pop and crackle anymore. Yeah, we won't be doing the Rice Krispie impression. Yeah, I mean, I still have your other one, by the way. I have to get that back to you.
I thought you were going to say that the big news was that we won the lottery, and this is our last broadcast.
Yeah, we're out. We're checking out. We're moving to the Caymans.
That this has not been a way to make millions of dollars.
Yeah, we didn't like where this was going. All right. Well,
you want to outline the topic show schedule for today?
That was a mess of English language.
Yeah,
sure, why not?
Okay, let's do that so folks know what they're going to hear.
Okay.
Do you want me to do that, or you want to do that?
Yeah, sure. You want to
Sure.
stick that mic all the way in your mouth?
We got
Thanks, bud.
we've got some thematic ideas here to chat about. So we got a segment called "Rise from the Dead and Drop from the Top," where we talk about sort of the best improvements and worst declines in sports. Fill in the blank, as in what went wrong with blank. You know how much we love names in sports. So this week we're going to talk about great names in sports, focusing on with deference to Hurricane Joaquin. And
excuse me, Tropical Storm Joaquin.
Thank you for correcting me. You're absolutely right. Although it is Category 4, so that's pretty serious.
It's Category 1.
I know. Well, see, it kind of.
Isn't that Category 4?
So maybe that should.
We're not having a hurricane blowing through DC. We're having some rain.
I saw number 4. I think this might be
Tropical Storm 4 or Hurricane 4?
I don't know.
Tropical Storm 4.
Rise from the Dead. Maybe the hurricane will make the list.
Hurricane rises from the dead, blows our terrible show away.
And we all, of course, we love food. So we got our Eat Like a Champion food segment. So we'll talk about that a little bit.
Delicious.
Unique sports updates, and of course our favorite BSPN headlines or lies.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Okay, let's get into it.
So you got any suggestions here? What do you think is like comeback from the dead in terms of sports teams, guys, players?
I mean, rise from the dead. The obvious one, which I spied on your screen, but I immediately thought of before I did that, and you mentioned this earlier, and it's specific to me because he's on my fantasy team, is Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, how can you talk about comebacks without talking about Larry Fitzgerald? I mean, yes, it's early in the season. I'm not living in fantasy land. A lot could still happen.
Yes, you are. You have a fantasy team.
Well, he's on my fantasy team. A lot could still happen, obviously, but.
He's been awesome.
Through the first 3 weeks of the season, unstoppable.
Yeah,
he said. I mean, for me, he's had in a PPR league. He's had 30 points all 3 weeks.
Yeah, I have to concede that he's been amazing. He's going to start. I think he was doing those hang upside down catches over the winter. You remember those?
They put the feet in the rack.
Yeah. So I don't know. You're right. He's got 5 TDs, 10 catches, top 10 in catches, top 10 in first downs.
He's already got like 500 yards.
He's got a zillion yards.
5 TDs and 500 yards. That's a season for a lot of guys.
Well, last year I got him at 67 catches for 700 yards. So do you think Carson Palmer is for real?
Yeah, is Carson Palmer for real? Oh God.
I mean, don't you think that's like a piece of this?
I'll be entirely honest. Okay, I have never thought of Carson Palmer as like
anything other than a TV detective.
Carson Palmer to me was just like, he's a quarterback. Like at best, he's just like a guy.
Yeah.
He's just not good. I've never thought of him as a good quarterback.
Yeah. Do you think he's the Blaine Gabbert of the NFC West?
Oh my God. I mean, I don't know. Is Carson Palmer for real? I don't know. I can't speak to that because I don't think he's ever really arrived, nor is he ever going to arrive. But he's clearly benefiting from having Larry Fitzgerald there.
Yeah, no, I think he's good. Would you take him over Cutler?
Boy, who throws more picks?
Cutler.
Cutler throws more picks to the Packers.
Who's got the better look after he throws a pick?
Yeah, who looks more sullen? I mean, certainly he's. Right now, he's kind of like a product of the environment. He's got Fitzgerald. He's still got Andre Ellington, right, to throw to. He's got John.
That's right.
He's got John Brown, that like new rookie that everyone thinks really highly of. He's got some nice guys to throw to.
Yep.
So that's I don't know.
I'll tell you somebody else who's looking like he may have come back from the dead.
What's that?
He wasn't dead all the way, but he certainly looks good this year. Cam Newton. Cam Newton might be an early MVP quarterback.
Cam Newton, an early MVP quarterback.
He very quietly has led his team 3-0, and he's got nobody. He is throwing. I'll tell you who he's throwing to.
Ted Ginn, right?
He is throwing to Ted Ginn Jr.
That's his number one weapon, I believe.
Yeah, and he's got a tight. He's got.
Is it Greg Olsen?
Yeah, he's got Greg Olsen, right?
Because
Benjamin's gone, right? Last year's stud Kevin Benjamin.
Travis Benjamin.
Travis now. Kevin, right?
Travis Benjamin.
Travis, you like Travis?
I'm pretty sure it's Travis Benjamin.
I thought Travis was the Cleveland dude.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
I think I'm going with Kevin. I think Kevin is out for the year.
An irrelevant receiver on an irrelevant team. I don't care.
Oh, he's on my fantasy team. What are you saying, man?
Oh, man.
So those are my NFL nominations.
That's it? That's all you got there?
I got, well, I'll tell you a couple interesting things. This is going on right now, but we do not know what's happening. I think Indiana football might be.
You're talking about the TCU game that's going on right now?
I'm talking about Indiana, who is playing Ohio State.
Oh, look.
And they are, Indiana is a dog by 22.5.
Oh, God.
And Indiana, I think, could make a game of this. They have the leading rusher in the country. And I think that a group hardly known for their football, might be able to make an early season impact on Ohio State.
On number one ranked OSU. Well, I'll tell you this right now. It's 4:12 p.m. Eastern time on a Saturday. The first quarter just ended, and Indiana is leading 3-0.
Dominant prediction.
Oh, the dog came over. Hey, dog. Hi.
I'll tell you who else actually in college football has been a name I saw pop up that probably isn't quite surprising, but Northwestern's been playing pretty good.
You're talking to the wrong dude about college football.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
I know as much about college football as you know about the NBA. Or I know about the NBA for that matter.
I hear you. So let's see here. What else can I share with you? Let's see. Rise from the Dead. A couple other nominations. John Daly showed up at this year's PGA.
He played, right?
He actually was invited and played. He didn't make the cut, but he had great pants on.
He did have great. I saw them. They were great. Was he like 7 over or something?
He was bad.
He was really bad.
Yeah, he was bad. Yeah, his pants were worse than our flannel shirts.
Your flannel shirt? My flannel shirt's dope. Why are you hating on flannel, bro? I like flannel.
And let's see here. Oh, and I did have one other to throw in the mix here because we like names so much. And you may actually know this guy because you know something about this sport. I don't know anything. Okay, European soccer.
I don't know anything.
Okay.
So
check this out. So Zlatan.
Oh, yeah.
You know Zlatan Ibrahimovic?
Yeah, Ibrahimovic.
See?
He's really good, apparently.
Really good. So I put him on the Rise from the Dead because he is number 12 on the Forbes money list.
Is he really?
Yeah, how about that?
And top paid athletes?
Yeah, top paid athletes.
Oh, good for him.
$40 million he made.
Zlatan is super good, and not only that,
he's Swedish, man.
He has the best personal hashtag on Twitter, Dare to Zlatan. Hashtag Dare to Zlatan. Look it up. He did like a Twitter AMA. And he put those in all the responses. So if you look up the hashtag, you'll see all his responses from the Twitter AMA. That Twitter AMA is hilarious.
I mean, he's got to have. How many nicknames could he have with
doesn't have
Ibra?
any.
He could be the Vic Man, Hema Man,
Hematoma.
Brazier.
Oh God.
I don't know.
Yeah, apparently though he's super good at soccer.
Okay.
I would not know the first thing about it.
I could. I just like the name, man, and we're all about the names. So, how about? Do you have any ideas here? Drop from the top. Who was good at that in contemporary stuff has fallen off here and is not showing the way they should.
Well, I mean, the easy local pick, is the Nationals.
In
every facet, from batting to pitching to fielding. Ian Desmond. It's just the whole team just fell apart. A 9-game lead over the Mets for the division 2 months ago.
Nah, I think 4. 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they did have a lead in the division.
They're going to finish the year. They have to play a doubleheader. Ooh, the dog.
They're
playing a doubleheader tomorrow?
They're 8 back right now.
They're 8 back. So they have the potential to be 10 back at the end of the year.
They could. Although, Scherzer's going, so they have at least a 50-50 chance of winning.
Of winning 1 game. It's a huge swing, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's a 14-game swing.
Yeah,
in a month and a half.
Yeah, the presidents, the running presidents, are getting better airtime than the Nats are.
They are. They have a national commercial for Sports Center.
Two national commercials.
Oh, they have 2 now.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh God.
Yeah,
they just fell apart.
It is that they've been sad. I mean, they definitely fit the category of what went wrong with.
Oh, no kidding.
But yeah. So anyway, who else you got dropping from the top?
I mean, I feel like we should mention the Ravens. The Ravens, who were so good the last couple years, have started the season 0-3 and look really bad. And I'll tell you who else who looks really bad, who looks like a dumpster fire, is the Eagles. The Eagles are a dumpster fire.
I got the Eagles winning this weekend over the local team.
Fun fact. The local team with the name that has been pulled out of the media guide.
Yeah, we can't.
Philly.
That's why I can't.
We can't say it. The Washington football team. Fun fact: because of Tropical Storm Joaquin.
Yeah.
The league's actually thinking about moving the game, either canceling it or moving it.
They were. I think the game's back on though locally.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it in Philly or here?
It's here because the weather is going to be acceptable here. It's going to be less breezy and less rainy.
I think tomorrow it's supposed to be because I looked at the weather.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like 60 and raining.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't be that bad.
That sounds about right.
So I don't know why they would think about moving the game. Like 60 and raining? Are you kidding me? For football weather, that's balmy.
They did. Like some other sports here yesterday and today, which is Saturday. They did move. They did talk about moving
it up.
Yeah, and they did. They shifted around the Maryland game. That Miami had a game
move. Why are they
move.
Move it up? It's going to be gone by Monday.
Well, they look. I don't know. They just they were concerned about, it, but it's not an issue anymore. So
I thought the weather was supposed to be gone by
Monday.
Monday.
They're going to go ahead and go.
I'm trying to ride my bike.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Get out there. Get out there in the mud.
Oh, well,
and 4-wheel it a little bit.
Yeah, or something.
So let's see. Dropping the top. Kind of long term. I did take a look when I was looking at that Forbes list when I was looking up Zlatan. I was curious where Tiger was because Tiger used to be the man.
Tiger is definitely
Tiger. But check this out. It's kind of interesting. So Tiger's number 9 for total made, but he is still the number 1 endorsement guy at $55 million a year.
Well, that's not surprising. He's got like 70 bajillion deals for
but
a ton of money.
Everybody whacked him though.
Like 3 people, but he had like 20 endorsement deals.
Yeah. So who do you think was number 1, just for giggles?
On the money list for golf?
Yeah.
It's
No.
It's
Well,
Jordan Spieth.
You're right about that.
And he won. Did you see that he won? He won the FedEx Cup. He won Player of the Year. He won the money list, and he won one more thing. Yeah, that's the article. I read it.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
What's the 4th thing he won?
He won.
He got all 3 end of the year awards.
He won the sweep of the sports awards. 5 blah blah blah. The Jack Nicklaus Award as Player of the Year. The Arnold Palmer Award for topping the money list, and the Varden Trophy for the lowest adjusted scoring average.
For the best score.
Yep.
God.
So he actually probably should have been on our dead list, except he wasn't dead. He just hadn't been born last year.
Yeah, really. He just wasn't playing golf. Well, he was playing golf, but no one knew about him.
So, your number 1 winner, your number 1 pay man last year?
Ronaldo? Oh, Mayweather.
From
the fight.
Right, and then who did he beat?
Well, Pacquiao.
Pacquiao.
Because Pacquiao got stupid money still.
There's number 1 and 2. Ronaldo is 3, so that was great. Messi is 4.
Yeah, no surprise there.
Federer is 5.
What?
Yeah, tennis.
No way.
Yeah, I can't give you the number.
It's got to be endorsements, right?
It's got to be 50 or 60
Because you don't
million.
make any money playing tennis.
So you make some money playing tennis.
You don't make as much as the golf guys. You don't. Like,
no, you do not make as much as the golf guys.
Federer, as a top paid tennis player, will not make as much as Spieth playing.
Right.
But the tennis player will not make as much playing tennis as the golf player will play golf.
But, he's Swiss, so he probably is getting a piece of our Swiss bank accounts.
Well, he's Swiss, so he'll be able to keep all his money because there's no tax.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he could go there or, like, the islands.
Yeah.
So let's see. LeBron at 50. LeBron had 53 in endorsements.
Yeah, no surprise there either. Although Cleveland's paying him a pretty penny.
And Mickelson was on that list, yeah.
So, he doesn't endorse anything.
He's got 48 million in endorsements.
Oh, for who? For what?
He
doesn't advertise anything.
Yeah, he does.
What does he advertise?
Really calm things like, healthy food and bad cars.
Buicks that he can't get inside of. Looking at you, Shaq.
Yeah, Shaq, man. All right. So I kind of prepped this before, but what do you think, if I said to you, what went wrong with, well, how would you close that out?
Well, that's kind of, the same as the sort of the fall from grace. The dog is all tangled up in my power cable.
Come here, Pop.
No, she's fine because she's calm. I mean, it's kind of similar to, who's really bad. Although we didn't talk about. Did you have a thing on there for least valuable player? I can't remember.
Did not.
Oh, I wanted to do that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Least valuable player.
Yeah, I wanted to.
You're still pining over your fantasy draft.
Oh God. So before we move away from this, I did want to mention a couple things. Yeah, if you want to talk about my fantasy draft, I burned my number 1 overall pick on DeMarco Murray. That hasn't gone well.
Nah, that's not good.
No, but
But you had a good value pick because you got.
I got Larry Fitzgerald in the 8th round.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, for nothing. But anyways, no. What I wanted to talk about was
right after I picked Steve Smith.
Yeah, exactly. You talk about the Nats. You talk about least valuable player. Eads, right? Gordon Eads for ESPN. Wrote his article.
Yeah.
So he did. He's a Cy Young voter. He's an MVP voter. So he's technically not allowed to talk about who he picked. But he talked about picking Harper for MVP and Josh Donaldson, all these good guys. But then he also did least valuable player and worst pitching. So for his NL Cy Yuck.
Yeah.
Jonathan Papelbon.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, and he pointed out, which this is something. Oh my, the dog is going nuts. We're trying to discipline the dog and do the show. He pointed out, which this is something that I kind of knew about. From his time, remembering his time in Boston as a Red Sox fan.
Yeah.
Is in the past 5 years, so he's bounced around to 3 teams the past 5 years.
Right, started in Boston,
started
Philly.
in Boston, and then he went to Philly. So in Boston, in his last year, he was part of that epic September meltdown that they had.
Right, I remember.
I mean, a la Nationals, where they had this commanding lead over the division and just ended up in the cellar. And so then they shipped him out to Philly, right? And he went to a team that in the last 9 years had gone to the playoffs 7 times, and all 3 years he was there, they played below 500.
Ooh.
And then they shipped him to Washington with a 3 or 4 game lead when they got him, and they're now have the potential to be 10 back at the end of the year.
Oh, that's an interesting stat.
He is like kryptonite for these teams. He is ruining these teams. And not only that, and I mean, his numbers are terrible. And he pointed out something else. I think it was Marlins catchers, which are batting a combined 157, is pretty bad. And he pointed out for his, not for his pitching, but for his least valuable player.
Yeah.
I don't remember who his NL least valuable player was. I should go back and look. But his AL LVP,
right?
Hanley Ramirez.
Oh no.
Which I completely agree with.
Oh man.
He has just sucked it up. I mean, it was so bad. So they paid this dude $40 million to come. This infielder, $40 million to come play left for them.
Right.
Right. Patrol Green Monster territory.
Right.
And he was so bad that before the season even ended, they told him, "Yeah, you're not playing in left anymore," and had him practice and warm up as a DH, and then wouldn't let him DH. So he was warming up with Poppy and doing all the stuff that Ortiz was doing.
Right.
And then he just wasn't playing. He's been on the bench now for like, I don't know, 10 games, and they sent him home at the start of this road trip. They were like, just go home and rehab.
Well,
because he's just so crap. He was batting like 210. He committed a ton of fielding errors. Someone made a great video of like all his screw ups.
Yeah, but Papelbon has something that that Manley doesn't have. Hanley doesn't have. Papelbon is batting 1,000 and hitting taking shots at MVPs.
Taking shots at MVPs, his own teammates. Yeah. Did you see that they made a handshake out of that whole incident? Did you see that video? You saw it, right?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
He like chokes him.
It's like a high five. It's like what Scherzer did the catch-up thing, you know. So
yeah,
it's a new team thing, you know.
And then he just like throttles him.
Oh man.
Like it looks like Homer and Bart Simpson. You know, just,
So yeah, it's pretty cool. Do you have? You said you had a couple things. Do you have something?
I mean, those were the two that I really wanted to mention. Because the Hanley thing is so near and dear to my heart because it's my team, and the Papelbon thing is just too funny to not mention. And he also came from my team years ago.
God, that's really bad.
I remember like the start of his last year, watching the season opener. Mm-hmm. The season opener was a 3-game homestand against the Yankees in Boston, and I remember because the game was on TV, and I don't know, that TV, the second TV that we had didn't work, and Mom was watching like Dancing with the Stars or something.
Right.
So I'm sitting in there on my computer watching the game on ESPN Go or whatever, or ESPN 3, whatever they call it, and I remember
if they call it the Deuce, what do they call it? The Trice?
ESPN 8, the Ocho. No, and I remember like seeing the chat because like back then it had a chat window, so it had like the game which you could watch like the TV broadcast, and they had like the big stat thing on the side like you do when you watch games on the internet.
Yep.
And then it had a chat room back then, and I just remember all like the Yankees people and basically just all the not Red Sox people. Papelbon came into the game and just the vinegar. The salt and vinegar that came out of those fans. Oh, here comes Papelbon. He's terrible.
There are people that hate Papelbon. I mean,
it's true. I remember he came in and like shut down the game, and everyone was like whinging. But everyone was like, "Oh, Papelbon, worst dude ever." And I never like got that vibe. And then in Philly, even if Phillies fans complain about him, do you know how hard it is to get Phillies fans to not like you?
Well, they don't complain about you; they throw you from the upper levels of the stadium.
Well, no, that's Oakland. that's the Raiders, dude.
And then they throw you in jail, in the stadium.
Yeah, well, if you're at the black hole out in Oakland, you get stabbed on the way down.
Right, exactly.
No, but like to make Philadelphia sports fans
not like you especially when you're successful.
One of the worst groups of people around,
right?
At least on the East Coast,
right?
To make them not like you, that's really hard.
I agree.
And I think part of it is the fact that they were this like perennial playoff team. They were a serious deal. And then Papelbon showed up and they sucked.
Yeah.
And they still suck.
Well, they're dropping everybody off that team. They've traded away the entire team.
They're going to go in a rebuild, but they weren't in a rebuild for the last 3 years.
It's pretty amazing that Chip Kelly didn't want any of their players.
Chip Kelly did not trade the Liberty Bell for something.
Oh my.
Yeah, can we talk about least valuable coaching? You want to talk about Chip Kelly? What Chip Kelly has done to the
Eagles? Chip Kelly he's totally eviscerated the Eagles. This is pretty funny.
He's ruined them.
But we'll see what happens this weekend. We'll see which team is like cellar dweller. Because you got the Giants.
Yeah, after 4 weeks.
Well, the Giants are going to play Buffalo in Buffalo, which they're a dog, like 5 or 6 point dog, and everybody thinks that Buffalo's going to run all over them. You got Philly and Washington, and then of course you got that whatever you want to call is happening in dumpster fire down in Dallas.
Dallas is not the dumpster fire of the division though. Philly's still the dumpster fire of the division. Dallas is just in a bad way with a broken quarterback.
Yeah, and a broken wide receiver.
Yeah, that is an issue.
And a broken owner.
Well, certainly not a broke owner. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
So before we move on, I just want to share. I remember seeing like during free agency, I must have been on Reddit, and some of the comments, the two best comments that I saw during free agency, like one was on like day 3, when he'd like only butchered like half the team, and someone said, "Stop the ride, Mr. Kelly. I want to get off," or like, "I want to get off Mr. Kelly's wild ride." And then like after like 4 or 5 days, someone else, a fan of another team, I don't remember who, chimed in and said, "Chip Kelly at this point resembles a drunk in a supermarket. He's just grabbing things that he wants and putting them in the cart. And then when there's too much stuff, he's just grabbing other random things and throwing it out."
I like that. I like that analogy. That's definitely what. I mean, that's certainly what it looked like. But my brother, who is an avid,
Your poor brother.
ah, no kidding, is a down and out avid Philly fan. I mean, a Philadelphia fan.
Well, Eagles fan.
Eagles. Yeah. He's just beside himself. He doesn't know. He was all about defending Chip Kelly last year, but he finally conceded this year that maybe the man is not the brilliant, Bill Gates of football that everybody thought he was.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, speaking of the NFC East,
Uh-huh.
you want to talk about what could go wrong, and the first thing that jumps to my mind in what went wrong with blank, what went wrong with Tom Coughlin and Eli Manning's clock management the last 3 weeks.
Oh man,
They have gifted games to other teams.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's like he doesn't, maybe his watch only counts minutes. Maybe he doesn't have seconds on his watch.
Or hours,
or
like
something.
really.
Yeah, they
quarters
can't
or something.
They
can't run a 2-minute drill? You gonna tell me an NFL team can't run a 2-minute drill?
Yeah, Manning has to take part of that responsibility though, because he's out in the field. He's not getting people to hustle back. He's not getting people in line.
Who's he gonna get to hustle back?
Broken
Victor Cruz.
Yeah, here out of wheelbarrow.
Besides Odell Beckham, who's gonna hustle back for them?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Shane Vereen now.
That's right.
I keep forgetting that they have him. Mm-hmm. I like him. I like Vereen. I'm a fan of Vereen.
Yeah, Vereen's okay. Yeah, I don't know. What went wrong with RG3?
Well, it was me, for starters, and the fact that he was a stupid running quarterback. I mean, what went wrong with RG3? The fact that he thinks he's a running back. That's what. He's got Kaepernick complex. Only he's just worse at it.
Yeah, I don't know. He was bad. Let's see what else went wrong. What went wrong with Bob Boehner? What went wrong with Bill Cosby? What went wrong? How about FIFA? We didn't talk about FIFA last time.
I know we didn't talk about FIFA because it's a stupid sport.
Hey, good point. Did you see?
The headlines about Sepp Blatter?
Yeah. Did you see this?
They're amazing.
Major sponsors call for a defiant Blatter to resign. So they go Coke, McDonald's, and Visa all said he had to quit. He says, "I'm not quitting."
The dog just knocked the microphone out of your hand.
I'm 79 years old. I don't have to quit.
Yeah. Well, really,
we could lose $200 million in endorsements, but I'm keeping my job.
God, it just speaks volumes about how ruined FIFA is.
This is called a Papelbon form of discipline.
Where Dad's got the dog. The dog is completely out of control, and he's got the dog by her collar and is holding on to her. I wish I should take a picture.
The dog took a very slow trot around the house, and I'm taking offense to that by holding the dog by its collar.
Yeah, or something.
And the dog is, I don't know what. All right,
dog's losing her mind.
Yeah. So
go lay down. Hey, Penny.
I got another one for you. Actually, you brought this up today.
Go lay down.
What went wrong with Steelers kickers?
What did go wrong with Steelers kickers? Oh my God, they're on their 4th one for the year. They released Josh Scobie, okay, and so we saw Scobie in week 3. The dog. Oh my God. Dad's dragging the dog through the house now to put her downstairs. So they just take her all the way downstairs. No, that's not gonna work. She's skittering around. So after Scobie missed all those field goals, oh my God, they cut him. They just said, enough's enough. So they're on kicker number 4. And
yep.
Who is what was it? Boswell? Chris Boswell.
Oh,
they signed Chris Boswell.
Not the dude who used to be the crazy linebacker for
Sean Boswell.
What was the guy's name? Boswell. I'm trying to think. The shaved head guy that used to play for.
Oh, for the Titans.
I would say Seattle.
Oh, really?
20 years ago. He was crazy.
I don't know. They got a kicker named Boswell. That's all I know, and that's their 4th one. Because they had 2 broken kickers, and then Scobie, who kicked in balmy Jacksonville, and show him some rain and cold, and all of a sudden he's shanking them. So
right.
Yeah, what did go wrong with Steelers kickers?
I don't know, but there's something bad. Heinz Field is a very tough place to kick.
Heinz Field is a miserably designed stadium. They just have a giant hole in the stands for no apparent reason. They have angry fans.
No, their fans are real good.
It's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's an issue. Which is something that we're happy to see Pittsburgh lose.
Named after a ketchup.
Right.
Fun fact, all that ketchup not produced in Pennsylvania, I found out.
Is that right? Is it made in China?
Ohio.
Oh, no kidding.
So there's they should Cleveland's field should be Heinz Field, really, when you think about it.
So cool.
What else? Do you have anything else to add to that list?
Nothing we want to talk about, Let's see here. But you did. Let's see here. You brought up. Oh, check this out. This will make an awesome transition.
All right.
You talked about kickers, right?
I did.
Our next segment. You know how much we love names. You're the one. You're like over the top when it comes to names in sports.
Well, I talked about it last time. I still want to do my all-star, all-name squad. Featuring the likes of Markevius Bingo
and Clinton Dix.
Or no, not Markevius Bingo. Excuse me. No, Barkevius Mingo.
Barkevius Mingo.
I was confusing him with Chris Banjo. Excuse me. And Ishmael Kitchen.
So
I got them all crossed up.
I suggest this week that we, in honor of Hurricane Joaquin,
Tropical Storm Joaquin.
Category 4.
Get it right.
Thunderstorm Joaquin. That we look at great Joaquins in sports.
Great Joaquins in sports?
And I'll go, I wasn't going to do this first, but I'll give you the most obscure one that I could find because you brought up the kickers. I have a kicker, okay, whose name is Joaquin Zendejas.
Wow, that's a name right there. I'll say that right now.
But check this out. Those of you who are listening, the 11 of you plus the new ones we get this week,
hopefully,
will maybe not have heard of Joaquin Zendejas, but you certainly, as NFL fans, will know his brother, Max Zendejas. And in a connection of interest to Will and I, Max, the brother of Joaquin, is Mexican. No, Will is not Mexican, nor is his mother. But Max played for Washington.
Okay. And
for Green Bay.
Did he really?
He played for Green Bay in the strike shortened year in '87.
Oh, well, that was before I was born.
They brought him in. Yes, it is. And I can't say so much for Joaquin. Joaquin, I got him playing for New England in '83.
What, just 1 year? 2
brothers, both kickers.
But that's not surprising though, because a lot of NFL families seem to play the same position. Because who were they talking about last week? A punting family. Someone that's got there's 3 dudes in the league now with the same last name that all punt and all come from the same family. You got Manning. Manning family plays quarterbacks. Matthews family plays linebacker. It's all those things.
Brady's playing bunches.
Brady's playing bunches. The only brothers I can think of, the only 2 sets of brothers I can think of that didn't play the same position were the Barbers, right? Tiki and Rondé, and the Bennetts.
Oh yeah, Miller. Don't forget Miller Barber.
Miller Barber.
He was a great golfer.
Yeah, right. But
and the corner barber.
The Bennetts. The Bennetts played each other this weekend.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, Seattle, Chicago.
Oh wow.
And they blocked each other at one point, which was really goofy because Martello's a tight end and his brother's a lineman.
That's pretty awesome.
Someone took a really good picture of the 2 of them just like getting at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a chance that you know any Joaquins? Can you think there's a couple in baseball? There's now a chance you might be able to come up with one.
I can't. I can get close though.
Yeah.
I can give you Joakim Noah. Joakim, pronounced differently and finished with an M. That's pretty close.
That's pretty good. I have to give you that. Yeah.
That's all our NBA coverage for the day, by the way.
We're
done now.
We're
done
done
with the NBA.
We're not going to talk any more NBA. I'll just give you my list here. I got Andujar, who played 76 through 88. He pitched for the Reds. He was an all-star, though, 20-plus wins, 2 years for the Cincinnati Reds.
All right.
So pretty serious. Arejas.
We should preface that all of these guys' names start with Joaquin.
These are all Joaquin, as in Joaquin Arias or Arias.
Wait, let me see it. Your Spanish, the pronunciation is terrible. Where is his name? Oh, yeah, no, that's Arias.
Right. And so he played for Pittsburgh in the National League and some other teams, batted about 265, nothing special. And then you have your Joaquin Benoit.
Joaquin Benoit?
Yeah, him too. He's a pitcher. A pretty good starter. He's a
current pitcher, isn't he?
He is current. He most certainly is. He's playing for Texas. Oh, no, San Diego.
Okay. He's I believe, I want to say he's French-Canadian.
Sure, that's good. That's not bad. His name isn't Jacques, but maybe Joaquin is Jacques in French.
Wait, Joaquin is Jacques in French? That doesn't mean Jack is John in English. What's wrong with you?
And I'll give you the last one I got is Joaquin Gonzalez. Who in the middle 2000s there was offensive tackle for Indianapolis. Okay. And the highlight of his career was he was the high school student athlete of the year in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, man. Truly a great honor.
So anyway, but you know what? I'd be willing to bet you that I was thinking that if Joaquin Gonzalez happens to listen to our podcast, I bet you we're the only ones that talk about him this week on like international public
sports media.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, help you with your thought there. Yeah, well, shout out to all the Joaquins.
Yeah, it's good to be Joaquin.
If you pressed me, I probably could have come up with Joaquin Benoit.
Yeah, you probably could have.
Because that's fairly fresh in my mind. Baseball's still going on.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That I care anymore because my team sucks.
And his I got a couple notes here. His ERA for his career
for Benoit.
Yeah, for Benoit 3.8. This is respectable.
It's all right.
I don't think he won more than like 8 or 10 games. He was a starting pitcher at the front end of his career, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and then he moved to relief.
He moved to the bullpen. I don't think he's a closer though for Texas. I think he's he's like a setup guy.
He's not. I don't know if he's a setup. He's like a 2-inning guy.
Yeah, maybe.
Or something like that.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So
that I kind of caught you off guard there, but we got that. I think we got to talk. We got here about 20 minutes. I think we should talk. We can't miss talking about food.
Okay.
And so I think we ought to call this segment "Eat like a Champion."
Have you brought this on because of our disastrous attempt at nachos?
Oh my God!
That we made during the Thursday night game.
That was not good. Well, yes,
it was so good. It was okay. They looked terrible, but they were delicious.
Well, picture this. Okay, if you go and you bought like the dollar bag of chips that you can get at, say your local CVS, and you dump the chips on a plate, and then you eat meatloaf, and you get
and then extrude it out of your body.
you drink syrup of Icapac, and you heave it up.
That vaguely resembles the food that we ate. But it tasted good.
It was all right.
I'll be entirely honest. I actually think it would have benefited from not having the salsa on it.
Yeah.
It would have been better if we had replaced the salsa with just diced tomatoes like I said we should.
Well, the cheese sauce. I thought the cheese sauce was a little, I don't know, it didn't quite.
My cheese sauce was great.
It
could have used more milk.
So could use more milk, huh?
Because then it would have been slightly more liquidy.
It had a characteristic, had a kind of a flowy, doughy characteristic to it.
Well, the other thing, it had Mexican spices in it.
Yeah, it did. That's true. So
to make it, more fiesta.
It was all right. In that sense, it was okay. So we put
fiesta queso.
Let's see, what do we have here? We had tortilla chips. We
did cheese sauce that we made in the pan.
We made some cheese sauce, with Mexican cheese and flour and shit, and and then we had refried beans, which
and if we'd have stopped right there, it would have been fine.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
And then we did, and then we
and then Dad dumped a jar of salsa on top of it, but it was like weird, like Giant brand salsa, and I hate that flavor.
Yeah, the flavor's not the best.
Of jarred salsa, it's just not good. Anyways.
But it does qualify because we did heat up the salsa and the beans in the microwave.
You heated up the salsa? No wonder it tasted so weird.
And in fact, that was what my challenge was what is the best sports snack that you can nuke?
Well, see, I have an unfair advantage here because as a college student, over 80% of my diet is made up of food that you can microwave. Last night at 3 a.m,
which is only 3 or 4% higher than the U.S. population average.
Last night for a snack at 3 a.m, I came downstairs and made microwavable mac and cheese noodles in a tiny cup. That's not a good sports snack. It's just a good regular snack. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, it's kind of like Hamburger Helper, except that it's not that.
Except
without the hamburger.
Yeah, it's got no Hamburger Helper. Well, I'll tell you what I like as a snack and what makes a great sports snack, because not only is it small and holdable and salty, but it comes with a holder so your fingers don't get dirty, which is a problem with a lot of most sports snacks. Hot Pockets.
Oh.
Because Hot Pockets
I want to talk about something that's extruded.
No kidding. Hot Pockets have a bunch of key ingredients for a good sports snack. Okay? First of all, a bunch of processed cheese. So much processed cheese. Okay? Pro there. Okay? Yeah. Usually weird tomato sauce. Point there. Unless you get the ham and cheese ones or the taco ones, which are really good. Strange, doughy substance that probably could be fried. A lot of sports snacks are probably fried. You're not really sure because it comes out of a bag. So that's a point for it there. That's 3 points. That's pretty good.
Oh, man.
On the 5-point scale, I'll take it.
All right, and
it comes with a holder, so your fingers don't get dirty.
Yeah, the holder. No, I'm all about the holder.
See, the problem with the bowl of Cheetos is that you got to put the bowl of Cheetos in your lap, and then you have one hand for beer, and then one hand has to eat the Cheetos.
Well,
with the Hot Pocket, one hand is for beer, and one hand is for the Hot Pocket.
Well, and on the point scale, you have created more work because you have a bowl that has to be cleaned.
Exactly, so that sucks. You can throw away the wrapper. The little thing.
Totally.
As you eat it down, it even comes a little tearaway strip so that you can make it shorter. Hi, puppy.
And I'll tell you something that, although it takes a little longer to prep, it cooks much quicker and is awesome.
What's that?
But the timing on the microwave is critical. Your all-American hot dog. You take a hot dog bun, you throw the hot dog in, you squeeze some mustard on it, 18 seconds in our microwave.
But our microwave is weird.
But because
we have a 1,200 watt microwave, which is non-standard.
At 1,200, at 20 seconds or 22 seconds, the hot dog blows up.
The hot dog splits and the bun becomes a rubbery inedible mass.
Right.
But at 18 seconds, it's perfect.
It is perfect because 12 doesn't get it hot. And so
yeah, you're right. Well,
and you do get the holder. So because you have the bun.
Because you get the hot dog bun. Yeah, that's true.
And you can put it on a paper towel so you don't have to have a cleaning
Why bother with that?
Well, I'm talking about...
Hold it in your hands
and
wipe your hands off on the couch like a man.
Because every 3 times it blows up in the microwave. No, the paper towel is for the microwave. It's not for your lap.
Oh, okay.
No. I have sports pants I wear that are already pre-stained.
They already have holes ripped in them.
Yeah. So I don't have that issue at all. I already have a food. It's like actually having a bib that has armholes and sleeves and legs.
So a Snuggie is what you're saying. You just need a Snuggie that uses a giant napkin.
Yeah, and it doesn't bother you if you take the back of the sleeve or a piece of the extra cloth on the pants,
whatever,
and clean your lips with it.
See, that was the frustrating thing about this year is that this year I lived in a room where the only piece of furniture that had cloth on it was my bed.
Oh, and see, this is not going well.
I didn't want to wipe food product on my bed,
right?
And you can't really wipe food product on a plastic chair, so I actually had to learn to clean my hands this year. It was terrible. I hated it.
That's not good. You got any other suggestions here for best sports snack?
Ooh, let's see. Hot Pockets are good. I'm a fan of Hot Pockets.
Along the same line, actually, frozen burritos not a bad way to go.
Yeah, microwavable sports snack. Well, I mean, there's always a time-honored tradition of ordering a pizza, to eat with all your buddies on game day. But if you're a poor sap like me with no friends, and the game is on TV at your house, you can buy those personal microwavable pizzas that are also delicious.
Right.
And you only need to cook those for 2 minutes. It's just like the Hot Pocket. And then you get a pizza. How can you say no to that?
Actually, leftover pizza is pretty good.
Yeah, leftover pizza is not bad.
That's almost better. In fact, one of the things that I think that Pizza Hut and Domino's and all these guys are missing is
the ability to just sell leftover pizza.
They don't realize the market for leftover pizza, and you should just be able to order leftover pizza right off their menu to be delivered.
So it comes.
It already comes.
You order medium, which has 8 slices. So when you get a leftover special, there's only 6.
You get 5 or 6.
They come cold. And pre-wrapped in foil.
That's right.
And you stick them in your fridge and you eat them tomorrow.
Exactly. Isn't that perfect? Well, you eat them on the spot. What do you mean?
Oh, that's true. They're leftovers.
That's what's so great about it. It comes in. Yeah, it's another thing that goes to your lap.
That was a great thing that my high school did. At the end of the day, you could stop by. There was outside of our gym, where the basketball team played. We had 2 gyms, but we had a big gym and a small gym.
Yeah.
And the big gym had all the seating. Had seating for 4,000 people.
Right, I remember.
And outside of that gym, there was like a little concession stand indoors, because the basketball was big enough that a lot of people came. And during, the school year, even when there was no basketball, at the end of the day, you could go down to that concession stand and they would open it up at like, $2.50. And one of the things that they had was they would order every day. They would order like 15 pizzas, and you could buy you could buy a slice of Domino's for like $2, and it'll come wrapped in foil. It was perfect. It was awesome.
Yeah, it is. When you can go buying slices of pizza is one of the under-recognized great things about America.
Pizza by the slice is awesome.
It is. It's a whole thing. Again, there's yet another menu idea. Everybody thinks pizza by the slice is like a leftover thing from places that sell pizza. They're totally wrong. That could be a dominant national chain called Pizza by the Slice.
Pizza by the Slice. There's a place in Richmond where I live most of my life. During the year.
Right.
That's like 3, maybe 4 blocks from where I live. That does Pizza by the Slice.
I've been there with you.
You have not.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Until 3 in the morning. They start at like 10 a.m. and they go until 3 a.m. and it's awesome. And after midnight, the slices go down. Like you can get like a slice of pizza, like pepperoni or cheese, like $3, and then everything else like with like 17 toppings on it because they have a lot of different kinds. Is more expensive. And after midnight, pepperoni and cheese slices both go for like $1.50.
Ooh.
And it is delicious. So shout out to Christian's Pizza of Richmond, Virginia. You guys make delicious food. I can't wait to get back and eat it again because it's really good.
Ooh.
And it's good. It's good when you're up at 2 in the morning watching the late game from the West Coast, and you're like, hey man, you want to go get 2 slices of Christian's? So you go down 3 blocks down the street and come back with your slices and eat it while you watch the fourth quarter.
That
or
actually
the third period, depending on what time of year it is.
That does sound like a good thing. So I think we have exhausted the nuking segment there. Although we
kind of cheated on the pizza. You don't really microwave pizza.
It seems like we're missing some really good ideas, right? I know you can always do like dips for your chips in the microwave, but I was talking about like that
makes work.
I'm like a whole
2 bowls, one
a
for the
whole
dip,
thing,
and
I like popcorn ain't cutting it. I ain't talking popcorn.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Popcorn it smells terrible. It has no flavor.
Well, it's not a sports thing.
It's a crappy snack in general.
Now, if you could put like salsa and sour cream
on popcorn,
and maybe some stir-fried mushrooms or something.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I don't know. Nuking stuff. It's really all about quick. It's all about getting it in and
within
out.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
From in the packaging in the fridge to in your mouth in 2 minutes.
And
or less.
Because we all love live sports, which is about the only thing anymore that people watch. Real time. So everything
right,
else
keep their cable TV for.
Yeah, and actually, I was telling Mark, I like what you do a lot better. Where sometimes you like when a live sport's going on, you turn it on, but you don't come and watch it for half an hour, 45 minutes, and then you zip through the DVR.
I'm telling you, that's an awesome way to do it.
It is. It's very cool.
And I'll tell you what else I've been doing.
And then you catch up with it at the end.
Yeah, you catch up by the end. Well, the other thing that I do is, so we get a bunch of the channels. We get one of the things that we get is CBS Sports Network. And if you haven't figured this out already from listening, I'm like a huge gearhead. I love racing in all forms. And CBS Sports Network puts on all these like second tier events at night. And so I have it set to keep like 5 or 6 episodes of like off-brand motor racing. So it records them. They air at like 11 or 12 o'clock. The Formula Drift show used to be there. It used to be like that. And it used to air at like 10 p.m. And I would never watch it because I was like doing other stuff. And I also I would watch those live, so I'd have no need to. But I'll come downstairs in the morning and watch that while I eat my breakfast. And it'll be like an hour-long show, so it'll only have like half an hour of racing in it because it'll have 20 minutes of commercials and 10 minutes, before where they talk to all the dudes before they get going. And I'll skip everything. And that's an awesome way. It's about how long it takes me to eat my breakfast, and it's an awesome way to like watch a race.
Right.
Because you get to skip like all the nonsense. So yesterday I watched Stadium Super Trucks. You know about that? You know about Stadium Super Trucks? It's like they're like they took the short course rally thing, the rallycross concept.
Yeah.
And they're like, what if we just did it with trucks? And they did it. And so they put trucks on they do like half the year on street courses, but with like Baja racing trucks. The dog's got her bone. No. Oh, is she chewing on the table now? Chewing on something. Yeah, and they take like street circuits, and they take short course racing trucks and drive them on the street circuit. And they put jumps up on the street circuit. They build like ramps, like temporary skateboard ramps, and they jump the trucks off of them at like 70 miles an hour. It's awesome. I love it. It was great. They did the one I watched was Toronto.
Wow.
Toronto street circuit. Yeah, it was really good. Anyways.
All right.
Should we really quickly burn through our alternate sports?
Sure. Yeah, real quick. Because
do you have anything?
I have a little bit of hurling news.
You have hurling news? All right.
So
that's good. I have a little bit of drifting news.
All right.
And then we should talk about rugby.
I'm going to actually jump back to CPAC to Craw.
Okay.
It does not appear, from what I can see, and the site that I follow, which is the biggest English-speaking site.
CPAC to Craw site?
CPAC to Craw site for English speakers. It actually comes out of Great Britain. But so I couldn't find anything in terms of current international news for that. But in hurling, they did finish the All-Ireland Football Championship.
Oh, okay.
And so that's a pretty big deal. That was only a couple weeks ago. And unfortunately, Dublin beat Kerry 0-12-09 at Croke Park. And probably the next time I talk to you, I'll actually be able to explain how the scoring came down.
How the scoring system works or how it comes down?
How they actually put those points up.
Was it a 2 out of 3 series?
It was not. It's just a single game elimination.
Oh, 12-09. So no goals.
The score, exactly.
So no goals. Only,
that's correct.
I can't remember what it's called when they just put it through the
tries, I think.
Is that a try? Okay.
I think those are tries.
And they're worth 2, right?
So, maybe not in hurling. No, that's not true. In hurling, that's a try is
no, try's a rugby thing.
Yeah, it's a rugby thing. Sorry, listener.
Come on, man.
So, and then, our Kilkenny, our beloved Kilkenny team had gotten knocked out in the semis or the quarters. Yeah, and so I didn't have anything to add there, but I just thought I'd throw the Dublin. So Dublin did bring it home, which that's kind of good, that was a good thing, and it was done at Croke Park, which is in Ireland. It's not in London, so that's cool too. So,
oh man.
How about you?
Little bit of drifting news that I want to talk about. Formula D has just announced that they have canceled the final round of the Formula D World Championship in China. Yeah, so I don't know.
The one they were going to run the Olympic Stadium? Isn't that where they run it?
Okay, so here's the deal, right?
That was like in Bird's Nest Stadium, right?
At the start of the year, fun fact, there is actually a permanent drift track in that stadium, used for World Drift Series China. I don't know if they were going to go there. The dog, oh my God. The dog is chasing her bone across the floor. That's amazing. Oh, she took it back to the carpet. Thanks. So here's the deal, right? This year, I got an eye on the clock, don't worry. This year, Formula D announced they were going to do a new thing. Actually, they were going to do 2 new things. One was that they were going to run a mini-series. They were going to run Formula D Canada with 4 rounds in Canada.
Right, I remember you telling me.
And the other thing that they were going to do was they were going to split up their championship. They wanted to run, in addition to the Canada rounds, which was Canada-specific, they wanted to run more international rounds.
Right.
So they decided that in addition to their standard 7 U.S. stops that they always make, that they would make 3 more international stops. One of them overlapped with the FD Canada circuit. So the FD Canada made 2 stops in Montreal at the Autodrome Saint-Eustache. So the second one of the year, the last one of the FD Canada grid, would be one of the international rounds. There was a round in Japan at Fuji Speedway, and then the last round of the year was going to be in China in November. Unfortunately, all their promoters and all the companies they were using to sponsor and get a track and everything apparently weren't able to follow through on the deal. They weren't able to secure a venue in time and get all the shipping organized and all that. So they've just gone ahead and canceled it. So next week's upcoming round at Irwindale, which is the closeout of the FD Pro Championship, which is the standard 7-round championship, is also going to be the last round of the World Championship. Because all 7 rounds of the U.S. Championship count for the International Championship.
Oh, that's going to help out your man, isn't it?
It is. So here's...
Because he's at the top.
So, yeah. So they also said the points are going to count double, though.
Oh. So that's interesting.
What that means... So for what we've been talking about the whole time, that I've been talking about drifting on this show, it's been about the Pro Championship, because I don't really care about the International Championship. Okay? So the Pro standings, Frederick Osbo's sitting on top. Okay?
Right.
He's 80 points ahead of Ken Gucci in second. So realistically, the only people that have even the remotest chance of catching him are Gucci in second and Turk in third.
Right.
I think Forsberg's like one more point out. But all three of those guys,
they could all flip positions, right?
They basically have to win the event. The
Yeah.
only way that they can do it is if Osbo gets knocked out early and they win the event. They can get a little bit of help if they qualify high. They can get you get 100 points for winning the event in the standings. You get 7 points for qualifying high.
Yeah.
So if you qualify first and win the event, you might be able to take on Osbo in the pro standings. Now in the world standings, Osbo's also standing on top because he has this huge lead in the pro standings, the U.S. standings. That obviously greatly helps out his international standings. Plus, he won the Canada round, and he got 5th in the Japan round.
Wow!
So he has this huge lead. However, there's a couple different drivers behind him. The thing is, you have to be eligible for the World Championship, you have to do one of the 3 international events. Well, not one of the 2 international events.
Right.
And you have to run at least one FD-USA round. That's to make you eligible. There's only 13 dudes on the grid that are eligible right now out of 40. And most of them are not even close. So, Odi Bakchis, last year's winner.
Yeah.
So, Arumis Bakchis, or Odi, if he has a good showing, he doesn't even actually have to win. He just has to have a good showing and then get help. Have an Osbo get knocked out. With the double points, he could catch up for Worlds. So could Matt Field, although he needs a lot more help. He basically has to qualify first and win the event and knock out Osbo immediately for Matt Field to win in that highlighter yellow S15 that he has.
Yeah.
It's the best color car on the grid, in my opinion. It looks like it was colored in with highlighters. It's awesome.
Cool.
So that's going on. That is next weekend, October 9th and 10th, Final Fight, Irwindale, California. It's the last event they're holding at Irwindale because they're tearing down the speedway pretty much right after the event.
Oh, man.
The House
of
more.
Does this mean more Canadian events?
I think that next year that opens the door for Montreal to be a permanent stop on the series.
Could they? You think they'd get the Trailer Park Boys to sponsor that event?
Well, no, they're from Nova Scotia. They're from the next province over.
I think it'd be good though if we get
we get one dude to show up with a Chrysler New Yorker with no doors.
That's what I'm thinking, and get Bubbles to slide it around as a celebrity slider.
It's funny because there's a couple Canadian dudes that are on the series.
Yeah.
That compete all the time, and the one guy who's been around the longest, Mats Barabo.
Yeah.
The dude drives he drives a gigantic sedan. It's not a New Yorker. It's a Toyota Chaser, Mark II. But it's a sedan the size of a house with a bunch of power, and it's known for being this big wallowing economy car. Do you suppose that he took Trailer Park Boys and just got JDM with it?
That's what I'm thinking, man.
Right. He starts running with no front doors, and it's you're done.
You're done. You got it.
Although that disqualifies you technically. Running with no door. Well, if you take the doors off before you start, you could get away with it.
Yeah, or
technically, if you break your hood and you lose it, you're allowed to run with no hood.
Or you could plexi the doors. You could take the doors off and just plexi the openings.
Put plexiglass up,
just to get you the look.
Because the rule is no latched part of your car can open during your run.
Okay.
So if you start without it,
right,
it's probably fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or you take the latches off.
Just weld the doors shut, NASCAR style.
Cool.
All right, that's my drifting news. So should we talk about rugby?
I
feel like we should at least mention it.
All right. You've been the one that's been watching, so you talk it up.
I watched 2 matches. I don't
well, that's way more.
Watching.
Well, wait a minute. That's
100% more than you, right?
There was rugby news in the paper. Go ahead.
The one that I watched was the one that everybody else watched, which was the Japan South Africa.
Awesome.
That I gotta tell you,
so sick.
That was totally awesome because you could tell the Japanese dudes and the fans were so friggin' stoked that they won. It was clearly a big deal to them, and that's you don't always see that in sports, and that was really cool because I watched the game after everyone was like, oh dude, Japan won. So I knew Japan won I watched a replay, but still, you're sitting there watching and you find yourself, rooting for them to win and you get really into it. I don't know the first thing about rugby, okay? I know it's it's like football and hockey had a love child and it's more violent.
Well, don't you think that is
where, my knowledge stops?
Don't you think that matches the Pearl Harbor of Johannesburg?
Ooh.
You can imagine if the Japanese. It would be like the Japanese beating the Canadians in World Hockey.
It would.
I mean, I'm not saying that South Africa is the premier rugby.
They're the number 2
but
international rugby team.
they're in the top 5 for sure.
No, they're definitely the number 2. I mean, the only team that's better than them is the All Blacks, without a doubt. You have the Kiwis. They're good as hell. And like the Aussies are like really good. You know,
so how does that happen?
Are like really good, except for us.
I mean, you know, it's. I mean, I would expect that out of North Korea, where they could like, you know, they could make people. Right.
I saw. You want to talk about cricket? Okay, I said I had no cricket news. I lied. I saw. I'm pretty sure it was an Onion headline, but supposedly Kim Jong-un scored 807 runs
cricket
in his first innings out against the Cuban national team.
And
that they're no joke. I saw that. And it must, you know, it's got to be facetious, you know. And even if it's not facetious, you know, it's that classic North Korea thing. But it was something like after like the first innings of, you know, it's the first day, and they're going into like the second innings, you know, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or on Sunday or Monday. I think it's 2 runs to 1,207. And that Kim Jong-un personally is on pace to score over 27,000 runs by Friday. No joke, I saw that.
That's gonna blow. It's gonna blow away his 19 holes in one.
And that was his dad.
Yeah, 14 holes in one. Pardon me.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, 14 holes in one in one round of golf, right?
Was it?
I think that's what he was.
Well, everything else was a 2, and he had 20 for the round.
Yeah. So does that math add up? 6? No, it doesn't. So you'd have to have more.
16.
14.
16. No, that's what it is.
8. That's about 8.
16.
It is. That's what it is.
16
12,
holes in one.
12 holes in one.
No.
He scored 20 for the round?
He scored 20 for the round.
So 4 holes times 2 is 8.
No, 14. No, you're right.
14.
14 holes in one.
14. I'm glad.
We can do
check
math.
our math. Yeah.
We can do that. See, and they wonder why I'm retaking Stat 210.
Yeah, I hear you. All right. Is that you got that covered?
I think. Let's see. What else do I have? I had a couple other things written down.
We could do some headlines.
Yeah, we're gonna do this. Real headlines though. Before we go anywhere.
Okay.
Fun fact: September, first calendar month in which no NFL player was arrested in the last 6 years.
Whoa.
According to USA Today, that bastion of journalistic integrity.
Well, that's kind of interesting. Mark will find that interesting. My buddy Mark does.
He does all that analysis work for,
he does
for the NFL.
Profile and analysis work for a partner of his that are under contract with the NFL.
Yeah, 6 years. Can you believe that? That's really sad. That this is the first month in 6 years that no football players gotten arrested.
But I think I did you see the related headline that West Virginia and several SEC schools are trying to compensate by getting multiple players arrested this month to kind of set them up.
Oh, God. Speaking of West Virginia, on that, surely by now you've heard about what's going on in Louisville, and the latest implications that staffers bought hookers for the players.
I was going to talk about that in headlines.
Okay,
but we can do that.
I'll leave that alone. Chicago fans have, I would assume the Chicago fans started a GoFundMe to pay to have Steve Bartman at the Cubs' first playoff game.
I did see that.
And Bartman turned him down?
Yeah. A spokesman said Bartman wouldn't show up. Bartman couldn't even do it himself.
Since the incident, Bartman has not gone to a Cubs game.
Yeah.
He just hasn't gone. He won't go. He's still a Cubs fan, but he won't go.
Yeah.
Which, if I were him, I wouldn't go either.
I wouldn't go either.
Frankly. It's something else. We just missed it. We missed it by 2 days. You talk about boxing, you talk about Mayweather. The Thrilla in Manila. 40 years old.
Oh, is that right? Ago. No kidding.
I wouldn't say today, but it's 2 days old.
Yeah. Frazier and Ali.
I'll tell you, man. So that was that.
Man, I miss Howard Cosell. Howard Cosell was awesome.
Howard Cosell.
He was just awesome.
Yeah, so that was 40 years ago.
Cool.
I was not alive then.
You were not. I was. I
old.
remember it was a big deal. I remember it was, and I'm not a boxing fan, but it was a big deal.
You don't care at all about boxing.
No.
In fact, you hate boxing.
Yeah, I've only seen a couple matches now. I'm not a big boxing fan. Although I did see what's his face get put down. What the hell was?
There was the dog again.
Yeah, dog is.
Dog's chasing your tail again. The dog has caught the tail.
Weekend report now. The dog has caught the tail.
Yeah, but you saw a boxing at one point.
I saw some boxing, and a guy won. It was a surprise.
The only boxing I've ever seen in my life.
And it wasn't George Foreman because he just did grills.
The only boxing I've ever seen was the Mayweather Pacquiao fight.
Yeah.
I went with some people that knew boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as a non-boxing fan, that was not the best probably introduction to PPV boxing that I could have had. Anyways,
so
everyone's favorite segment, BSPN.
BSPN.
You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I got 2. Which way?
Oh, I got 3, so I'll go first.
Okay, you're first.
All right.
Remember how we do this? So we're going to present 3 headlines.
One of them is a real headline that ran presumably on ESPN.com at some point.
Yeah, except we often can't find them there, so we have to go to
suck at that.
Better Sports.
Yeah, I cheated and used Reddit this week. And so, 2 of them are false. One of them is true. It's up to the other one to pick them out.
I'm good. Read away.
Last week, I think I wasn't. Was I 3 for 3 last week?
I think you were 2 for 3 last show.
I was 2.5 for 3, if I remember correctly, because I got the right headline, but that wasn't the one you picked because you cheated and had 2 true headlines.
When I presented, my headlines to my brother Hoyt. Who's a pretty good sports. Yeah, he got them all wrong.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Ah, bummer. We'll have to send him. We'll have to send him my batch this week. I have some pretty good confidence in this batch.
Okay.
All right, batch number 1. Oakland Raiders team officials have issued stab vests to stadium workers to wear in and around the stadium on game day. A Brazilian soccer referee pulled a gun on the field after a dispute over a red card.
Okay.
Or a Serbian soccer riot began over a disputed cheese wheel.
That'll be number 2.
You are correct, sir. In some minor Brazilian division, a coach alleged that members of the other team had slapped and kicked one of his players and demanded a red card. The player then, who was accused of being assaulted by the other team, then proceeded to assault the ref after he didn't display it. The ref, who was a policeman by trade, went back to the locker room, retrieved the gun, and returned to the field and chased the dude off the field with a gun. No joke.
I tell you, we have problems on our local fields where there's
Pop Warner dads screaming at refs.
Well, no, not that. No, the fields get the turf fields get scheduled for play, whether it's football or soccer or whatever. But then they get taken over by groups of players who are not scheduled, and then there's fights erupt over who can actually use the field.
Not a surprise, and I'll tell you what. Before I left work, I had to quit work due to some personal stuff I got going on. But right before I stopped working at the over at the rec center, which has a turf field. So my job put me outside. The dog is losing her mind. My job put me outside with a direct view of the turf field, and 2 weeks before I had to quit.
Yeah.
In the middle of the game, I'm pretty sure it was a scheduled game. It was certainly organized. They had refs and uniforms. But it was local men's rec soccer.
Oh yeah,
and I watched them, and they straight up got into a fight.
Right.
And it was a full on 11-on-11 flying kick, soccer fight. And I'm one dude, right? I'm one skinny 135-pound dude, and these are full grown adult men who don't speak any English and are all pissed off.
Right.
And I gotta go deal with this. And I remember I went and retrieved a couple people out of the building and dragged them down there, and it was some straight up Mexican gangbanger stuff. The dudes that started the fight were waiting in the parking lot for the other team, and we had to go out there and escort them out, and we had to call the cops. It was a nightmare.
I love it.
And at first I didn't want to do anything. I mean, I had to do something because I'm pretty sure I could have been fired if I didn't do anything. But I just sat there and watched them fight for a solid minute because I didn't know what to do.
It beats pay-per-view.
Oh, it's way better. It was way better than watching kids fall at the skate park. That was way better. Watching these dudes and all the kids in the skate park saw, and all these 11-year-olds are running over, screaming a world star and filming it with their phones. And I'm this is gonna get real ugly real quick. Anyways.
All right. Good. Okay. Well,
there's that.
You brought up Louisville before, so I'll just touch on that. This won't be too hard. So you tell me which of these is true. Louisville officials are investigating if Rick Pitino is related to John Calipari, Bill Belichick, or Richard Nixon. Louisville officials are wondering if so-called juiced bats were prepared by the escort service before shipping to major league teams. Or Louisville officials are investigating if escorts were hired for use of recruits. And as you touched on, in fact, the answer is
use of recruits.
Use of recruits.
Recruiting purposes.
Unbelievable. After a recent book has alleged that Andre McGee bought escorts and brought escorts to dorm parties, paid for the women to strip and have sex with the recruits for the Louisville Cardinals, their recruits, their fathers, and players. And let me just read you this. Brought women to 22 parties from 2010 through 2014 at Billy Minardi Hall. Billy must have been quite the man. And the woman said she and 3 of her daughters, along with other women, danced and stripped for Louisville recruits and players and performed sex acts, according to the book. And it says that the book that Powell said that McGee, remember McGee was the staffer, brought women into the dorm through a side door. But as the process evolved, the point became where the escorts could enter and leave the building through the front entrance and became familiar to the staff.
As they please. I'll tell you what, though. If you're recruiting me and you buy me a hooker, I'm coming to your school.
Oh, man, no kidding.
Hands down.
Well, don't you think that's what's happening?
Oh, yeah.
So Rick Pitino, of course, has no knowledge of this.
Yeah, no idea about what's going on.
Yeah.
All right. You ready for your next batch?
Fire up.
All right. MLB umpire Joe West gets a ball down his shirt while calling a Rangers game behind the dish. An NHL ref got KO'd breaking up the Dennis McQuaid-TJ Oshie fight in last night's Washington Capitals Bruins preseason game. Or a high school kicker bounced an extra point off the ref's face and it still went in.
I think I actually saw a kicker hit a ref in the face, but I don't know about the kick going in. I think that might be a bit of a stretch. I'm going with number 1. Oh, is that right?
It's number 3.
Is it number 3?
I don't know if it was high school or it was some D3.
Oh, okay.
It was this grainy handheld footage. It was a low kick, and it came right over the line, caught the dude square in the face, and flipped up and just snuck in over the crossbar.
Well, refs, I think in football, even at that level, are part of the field, so that makes it legitimate, right?
No, it counted. It's totally legit. The refs just had a broken nose.
Oh man, that's pretty cool. I would like that. Talking about bad pitches during the year, and I don't remember who was pitching, but I saw a foul ball. I'm gonna say it was Scherzer, but I'm not positive about that. Got Scherzer's pitching, foul tip, got caught in Ramos's mask and stuck there.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. And they pried it out, right?
They had to pry it out. They could get it out, but it was stuck, seriously stuck
really
in there.
Yeah, but that's one of those freak things that happens every now and again.
Right.
It's kind of like the bats, going into the stands or whatever. It happens. It's baseball. It happens.
And
balls, when you play little league, balls getting stuck in the backstop.
Sure.
It happens.
I certainly give you credence to the idea that a ref could get knocked out in an Oshie fight.
Oshie can't fight. Oshie that was his 5th career fight.
Okay.
Per hockey.
I saw that he was fighting.
Per hockeyfights.com.
Hockey fights, yeah.
A site which I frequent, and you should too if you love all things hockey fights like I do. Dennis McQuaid last year was in 5 or 6 fights alone. Right. And he's a tough customer. He's got 2 or 3 inches on Oshie. He's got 20 pounds. He's a big dude. I mean, he's 6'4", 220. So he's 6'6" in skates. Okay. And he's a big bruiser of a guy. And TJ Oshie,
he's not that big, but I would.
He's a winger. I mean, but he's a winger who makes his living, being small. I mean, not small, but being quick, fast,
elusive.
Deeks.
Right.
Did you see the shootout goal we had in that game?
No.
Totally. Whoever.
No, it's preseason hockey, dude.
I know it's preseason hockey, but I just saw the highlight. I think it was Tuukka Rask undressed him.
Yeah,
filthy.
It was 70 degrees outside yesterday, man.
It was not. It absolutely was not.
I can say
miserable. I went outside yesterday.
The ice in my freezer is melting.
I went outside yesterday. It was 40 and raining. It sucked.
Okay.
It's totally hockey season.
All right, here we go. We got a couple more of these before we shut this down. All right. You tell me which of these is true. The issue is funny, is gambling.
All right. We talked about this recently.
A DCDA is investigating to see if the Detroit Tigers, in fact, sent clone pitcher substitutes in recent trades with the Nationals, as opposed to the real thing. U.S. regulators have accused Detroit automakers of being, quote, too stupid to install VW software that could enhance car performance. Or a Detroit area gambler is sentenced in a Toledo sports bribery case.
What could this be? I don't have the foggiest inkling.
Okay, yes. In fact, in Detroit, the last of 9 people convicted in a sports bribery scandal at the University of Toledo has been sentenced, according to Fox.
That would have been really good if you just come back and just be like, oh, yes, and in fact, cloning has been perfected by the Detroit Tigers. You're correct. All right, for our last batch, local man steals and wears minor league baseball costume, goes out drinking.
Okay.
Local man steals and wears minor league baseball costume, uses it to scare his friend.
Okay.
Local man steals and wears minor league baseball costume, uses it to skip lines and get into local club.
It's the first one.
You're wrong.
Oh, it's the last one.
You're wrong.
It's the middle one.
You're wrong. In fact, it's all 3.
Oh, is that right? Very tricky. So I'm right.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a great article. The dude, there was a beer fest in the town. I think it was the Charlotte Hornets. Their mascot is like Danny the Dragon, or like some nonsense. Or the Charlotte Knights, excuse me, not the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Knights. Like AA team. Okay. So Charlotte Beer Fest was going on. So him and his buddy showed up to Beer Fest at 10 a.m. Okay? They made 2 laps around the stadium. You know, they had all like the tents because it was all like in the parking lot. So by the second time around the stadium, it was like 11:30 and they were both pissed drunk. And they were staying around for the 7 o'clock baseball game. So they went and they were hanging out and they were really drunk. He's like, I got to go up in the stadium. I got to get some food at like 1.
Right.
So he goes up and gets food. He said, I remember getting nachos and that's the last thing I remember. The game ended at 9 o'clock. He woke up at 12:30 on the next day in a stairwell. And
wearing?
No, not wearing. He just woke up, in the stairwell. He like looked around. I mean, no one was there, and so he's trying to find his way out of the stadium. He found a door that said, mascot dressing room. He's like, there's no way this is unlocked, right? Went in, found the mascot like costume. Okay. And he was like, all right, well, dibs. Took it, put it on, and went out like into town at 1 a.m. in the mascot costume. So the first thing he did was he like texted his buddy. He was like, what's going on? The buddy's like, I'm at Hooters. Where are you? And he's like, I think I'm still in the stadium. I don't know. So he put the costume on, went to the Hooters, okay, and like walked up to his buddy and like scared the shit out of him. All right, didn't know it was him. So then the next thing that they did was they went to a bar, like an actual bar, not a Hooters. And like started drinking, and then they went to like the club, like down the road. Yeah. And there's this huge line for the club, and he walks up, and the bouncer's like, "You can't come in." He's like, "What? You're not gonna let the mascot into the club?" So he gets him and his buddy into the club, right? Skipped the line, and just went onto the dance floor and just started like busting moves, and people were like buying him drinks and stuff. And then he was like, "All right, I gotta get home, and I gotta get the costume back." And so he went home. He's like, "All right, I'll bring the costume back in the morning. I'll just give it back to the team officials and be like, hey, I found this." And he got home, and he was there for like 3 hours, and the cops showed up. And the cops were like, super chill about it. I don't think he got arrested or charged with anything. Yeah. But I think the team's all bent out of shape.
Well, yeah, no kidding.
They lost their mascot.
Well, not that, but their mascot is going around doing debauchery.
People are like taking selfies with a drunk mascot. He took an Uber at one point. Like the Uber driver took a picture of him. Anyways, so that went on, and those are your BSPN headlines.
What an awesome week in sports.
Awesome month. We were gone for a long time.
All right. Well, it still was good nonetheless.
We're going to try to not let that happen again.
All right. Hey, thanks to everybody who's out there. We love you. And keep reading your newspapers because I'm the old guy. Yeah.
Keep reading that dead medium. If you want to stay current on what's going on in sports, I recommend that you use something a little more 21st century. Reddit, ESPN.com if you suck. All that good stuff. Don't follow me on social media. I don't have any. Don't follow Dad on social media. He doesn't have any
What
either.
Is that?
Don't like or subscribe because there's not enough of you and it won't make a difference anyway. But please tune in next week. We'll be back with another hopefully entertaining show. Or don't. Whatever. You can be that guy.
Ciao.
Take it easy. Hey, everybody. It's Will checking in here right at the end of the show. Full disclosure, I'm sitting here editing it like an hour afterwards, and Dad just walked in and told me that everything he talked about during hurling was a lie, and that those were rugby scores, and he misread them. So we just thought, we should tell you and be honest, journalistic integrity and all that. Anyways, thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next week. Till then, keep it safe, be easy.